Welcome back to Mass Appeal. We're going to show you a healthy salmon dinner recipe. We're doing it with Tyler Pratt from Enfuse Fitness in Enfield, Connecticut.
Hello, hello.
I'm challenging you to make me and a lot of people at home love salmon by the end of this, because it's a fish. We all know the health benefits of it, but it's hard to love.
Right, so a lot of people feel like it's a stronger fish, so I tend to always include two things with it. A nice, salty seasoning. I like Cajun style, adds a little bit more spice to it. And then lemon. Lemon you need on any fish. It's you know, like...
It's like a day without sunshine.
Exactly, exactly. So, as you know, I like to make things that are quick.
Yeah.
I'm on the go. I have my daughter at home, you know, so after work I need to make something quick for her and I. She actually will eat salmon.
Will she really?
Yeah, but she doesn't like the Cajun. She doesn't like anything spicy. She'll just be like, oh, it's too spicy. I'm not interested.
But you know what then? You can make hers a little and appropriate, no spice, and then put the extra spice on yours.
Exactly. So what we have here is Pacific salmon. I like to grab that anytime I possibly can. Typically what we get in restaurants here is Atlantic Norwegian salmon or farm-raised salmon, which I would always avoid anytime you see.
Really?
Yeah, I would always avoid farm-raised salmon because obviously you know the old adage, we are what we eat.
Yes.
They're eating a lot of genetically modified corn, those types of things as far as their diet goes, so hence you're going to get that in
yeah,
their food.
we're not farm-raised. Why should our food be?
Exactly, exactly. So what we have here is some coho salmon. There's only one type of Atlantic salmon. You're going to get 5 different kinds of Pacific salmon. You're going to get king, silver, there's coho as well, and there's one I'm
Lots
missing.
of salmon.
There's one I'm missing, but you get the gist. So,
I get the gist.
And always, anytime you can get fresh, it's going to taste substantially different than when you get a frozen salmon. So if you see nice, fresh Pacific salmon, grab it. It's not going to have as much of a fishy flavor as you would if you got frozen, you know, farm-raised.
Now,
okay?
in the hierarchy of fish, where does salmon rank in terms of its health benefits?
I would rank it middle of the road. Now,
Okay.
the only reason why is the larger the fish, the larger the toxicity of the fish, you know, heavy metals, those types of things.
I did not know that.
Right, so, you know, I would always limit that to maybe once a week, and if you're a woman and you're pregnant, maybe once a month. Same thing with tuna. I mean, just because it has a lot of health benefits to it doesn't mean that you should be eating it every day.
That's true. It's like almonds are healthy, but if you fill your face with almonds all day long, it's not going to be good for
Exactly,
you. A little bit of avocado oil in the pan.
Yes, so I was talking to you about this last time. This is a high flash point oil. You can bring this up to about 500 F and be very safe without it turning rancid on you like you would typically get with olive oil.
So because that burns so quickly.
Right, so we'll put about a tablespoon in there.
Into a hot pan.
Yes, exactly. And I use this. This is Chef Paul Prudhomme's Veggie Magic. I like it for Cajun seasoning.
Yeah.
You've heard of Emerald before.
We all know Emerald.
He studied with Paul Prudhomme, and he's one of the ones. Paul Prudhomme taught him New Orleans style cooking. He's the man. He was Emerald before there was Emerald. One of the things is when you get a nice hot pan like this, I like to do, because I love to eat the skin, is
Wait a minute. You love to eat the skin?
Oh yeah, it's delicious.
Are there health properties in the skin?
Well, there's health properties of the whole fish.
All right, I'm not
yeah,
convinced about the skin yet, but I will try a bite
But you got to
later.
get it nice and crispy. A lot of people will leave the skin and it'll be soggy and not delicious.
All right.
So while we have a nice hot pan,
Skin side first.
Skin side first, exactly.
Now, how long do you cook this roughly?
Well, I mean, you can eat good salmon, rare, obviously, like sushi.
Oh, that's true. But you have to get a high-grade sushi or salmon to do it.
Right, yeah. Sushi grade fish is just where it's coming from on the fish. It's not a unique... There's not a bunch of fish out there swimming around that are...
I
these are
imagine there were
sushi grade.
schools of sushi-grade fish.
Right,
It's like
right.
an advanced learning program.
Exactly.
I guess
It's just where it's coming on the fish.
Well, I learned something today.
Yeah, yeah. So
now,
and then
we're making a side dish. Let's make some green beans.
yeah. So what we have here is, you don't typically see this. This is rendered duck fat. As you know, I like to mix up my fats. I think fat is a crucial part of your diet, but you don't want overlap. A lot of people will be using the same fats over and over and over again. Not to say that duck fat, just like using bacon fat or some, other rendered animal fats, is something you should be using every day. But if you want to infuse a little flavor, the nice part about this is you're going to get a lot of omega-3s from the fish, so it's okay to add a little omega-6s.
And you know what? Let's splash a little
All
duck
right, there
fat
we go.
in
There we
Why
go. Get a
not?
nice
Hot
sizzle.
pan?
Hot pan. And we're just going to cook those just a touch.
Because yeah, you could eat them raw, but yeah, just throw in a little bit of.
Get a nice toss on here.
There it is.
Right. So while those are cooking, get a nice little sear on them because I want to crunch on them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be soggy. So we'll do a little bit of salt.
Okay. Now, because it's your own salt and not, you know what's in there, you can put a liberal amount of salt in there, it seems like you just did.
Yeah, I don't mind, especially if I'm going low carb with my meals, a little bit of extra salt in there. Oh, he's going to do
Trying
it.
to flip it for you. There's one.
There's one.
You know
Let's
what?
see it.
There's one. That's good enough for me.
Oh, okay, so a
about
little early with it, but
2-3 minutes aside.
yeah, I would go probably about 3 minutes aside, so that way you get a nice cook all the way through, and it's still going to be a decent medium rare on there.
But that's okay.
Yes, and one of the things also when you're cooking fish is, I'm not a huge fan of nonstick skillets all the time, but they have their place.
And
So
this might be one of those times.
Right, because you don't want it to stick. You don't want to be scraping your fish off, especially when you're dealing with something that's anywhere from $15 to $25 a pound.
That's true. Hey, I just
don't
thought
wanna
of
lose
something.
it.
What I want you to do is I want you to finish this up for us. I want you to plate it, make it look real pretty, and we will come back to you in a little bit and show you how good it looks and hopefully how good it tastes. I'm counting on you.
Are you going to share it with me?
Maybe. Coming up, we're back with Tyler from Enfuse Fitness in Enfield, Connecticut. We're finishing up our salmon dinner in the pan, non-stick with avocado oil.
Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. You don't need to use a ton of oil, obviously, especially in a non-stick situation. And salmon, if you're watching your fat, is a higher fat fish than certainly than like a cod or something like that.
So it's something to note when you're planning your day.
Exactly. So for like an 8-ounce portion, you're going to probably get anywhere from 14 to 16 grams of fat just from the fish alone.
And it might be good fat, it might be healthy fat because we're eating fish, but you got to know that you're doing it so you don't stuff your face with everything
Exactly. So like we've talked about in the past, if you're having something that's a little bit higher fat, just make sure you're cognizant of that. Make sure that you're keeping it a little bit lower carb, which obviously you see we're doing with the green beans. I wouldn't add any sort of outside, grains or rice or anything like that when you're having the higher fat. Like if this was a piece of cod and I was just doing a little cod with like, a little lemon and butter.
Yeah.
I would be more apt to have a starchy carb with something like that.
That's true, but you don't need it because you've got something this fantastic. Now, if people at home, sorry to interrupt, but if they don't have avocado oil at home, I think a lot of people are saying, do I need avocado oil for it? Anything with a high flash point.
Absolutely. So you can get, from any grocery store, you can get a grapeseed oil.
Coconut oil is even good.
Coconut oil is great. I think that's great, good to about 400 F. So, I mean, anything that you're going to get, make sure you're looking at the flash point of the oil because you're hearing all these things like, hey, olive oil is great for you. Very true, but at a certain temperature.
Exactly.
Everything
it's great
has
for
their...
certain recipes and certain things. Now, the green beans that we made, wicked easy.
Very easy. I mean, literally salt, pepper, duck fat. That's it.
And if you don't have duck fat, you can use bacon fat. Maybe you don't even need to use fat at all.
Well, I mean, it's like, spaghetti and meatballs type of thing.
It's another one of those days without sunshine.
Yeah, so again, this is, I mean, we probably used like 5 ingredients in this. And it's going to come out great. It's going to be restaurant quality.
I was going to say, think about it. At a restaurant, you're paying $20+ for that.
Oh, easily. And then not only that, the most important thing is that you know what's in it. I can't stress to you enough. If I go to a restaurant or something like that, and when you start to uncover the types of oils that you're using, like canola oil or genetically modified soybean oil, you just get terrified to eat out.
Yeah,
so
I
tend to eat in more than not.
Well, here we go. Finish it off with the lemon.
Just a little lemon.
I know that I told you I'm really excited about this, but I have to scoot over to do the Hollywood Buzz. Feel free to have a couple bites and our recipe on mymassappeal.com a little bit later today.
Perfect.